next Sunday night at 9, only on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s. Currently, the temperature is 70 degrees with light rain. Here's our local Doppler radar. Tonight, showers this evening becoming less numerous overnight. Low 60. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 40%. And on Monday, partly cloudy. High 76. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And Monday night, generally clear skies with a few passing clouds. Low 54. Winds light and variable. And on Tuesday, sunshine, along with some passing clouds. High 72. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Our week ahead. Traffic conditions around our area. Changed history premieres next Sunday night at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
And good morning, everybody. Or actually, make that good evening, everybody. Here we are in Lubec, Maine. And believe it or not, the county that we're in, you can fit the states of Rhode Island and Delaware in the county alone. It's Floyd's Washington County. But it's the water here that's very, very treacherous and dangerous. And we'll talk to a Bar Harbor pilot and find out just how dangerous it is coming up on a live report.
Rain from another storm system is soaking other parts of the Northeast. We'll keep track of the cause of this weekend's washout and what it means for the rest of the week here on PM Edition.
Another hurricane close to the coast, but this time it won't make landfall in the U.S. Good evening. I'm Carl Parker.
And I'm Christina Abernathy. Welcome to PM Edition. Rain from Hurricane Kyle has been coming down pretty heavily today in coastal Maine.
Yeah, it's been a real mess as far as the rain is concerned. Most of the wind is going to be on the east side of the storm coming up into the Canadian Maritimes. That's happening right now. Winds already gusting to 64 miles an hour at Picaro Point in southern parts of Nova Scotia. And that will continue over the next few hours as this storm rapidly moves to the north.
Our storm tracker, Jim Cantori, joins us now live from Lubec, Maine. That's about an hour northeast of Augusta, Maine.
And Jim, you have a little band that's beginning to back into down east Maine right now. And we had a report from a buoy just to your south that winds are gusting to near tropical storm force, so it could get pretty windy there for a while.
Yeah, we think it will, Kyle. And you know, it's with that band that you're talking about, we'll show everybody on radar that exactly where that wind may come from. Because as you know, once these bands start to unravel a little bit, that's where the wind cores are going to be, and that's where the wind is going to be transported down toward the surface. Got some information for you guys. A lot of flooding right now in Hancock County being reported there, especially around Sedgwick, Maine. Route 176 is down to one lane. Dedham, right now, US 101 is restricted to one lane as well. Blue Hill and also Waltham there. The biggest rain that we've seen so far today is Mariaville, I should say, at 6.02 inches. That's where we've had some of the heaviest rain so far today, and that's a lot of rain. I mean, when you're talking about bringing that kind of tropical moisture on north, you know you're going to have some flooding issues. Let's take a look at what we've got on the radar here. Really two areas of interest right now. There's one western band here which extends down through Bangor, and you can see that there's some rain with that. That's where we've got the one through Hancock County. You've had the reports of flooding and road closures. But it is this one here around Calais and Wesley and Machias, which is off toward the east, Machias, I should say, that we're concerned about, because that's where we're going to have winds possibly tropical storm force or even higher. So we're going to see some power losses. It's going to be with that band as it expands not only westward but northward. And Carl and Christina, some of the rainfall rates right now right around a ½ inch or more. Let's find out how dangerous this area is. I want to bring in Mr. Bob Peacock. He's with us tonight, and he's been up here for years. He knows just how dangerous these waters can be. He briefed me earlier on the Bay of Fundy, which has tidal ranges, guys, up to 50 feet or greater. I mean, you're talking the difference between high and low tide there. But as that all occurs and we get that range, you can get some real dangerous water here through these channels.
That's correct. Basically what we look at here isn't necessarily the direction or the force of the wind, but what's the tide doing compared to the wind. And when you have as much tide as we have, what direction it is, and is the wind with the tide or against the tide? When it's with it, it can knock the sea down. When it's against it, it can heat the sea up tremendously.
So even when the tide is going out, you can have rougher sea.
Absolutely. So what we look at is what's the direction of the wind and what's the direction of the tide, and that's what really controls everything here. And we've had we have a lot of storms in the wintertime here that are much more powerful than what we're expecting tonight. But, you know, we always plan for the worst, hope for the best, and take what comes with a smile. You know?
So what do you do in a situation like this when you've got some boats that either have to get into safe harbor, obviously some bigger boats that could carry freight and whatnot? What do you do with them? Do you hold them off? Where do they go?
We have a ship that's due tomorrow that's starting over, and she's holding out behind the storm and waiting for the storm to go through, and we'll bring her in D-Sport probably tomorrow night, maybe into Tuesday. And then the small boats, if you can pull it out of the water, outboard or that some type of thing, everybody's got their outboards out. And the larger fishing boats go up into the coves that are really protected. And you kind of look at which way the wind's going to go and make sure you get your boat out of the main areas where the wind can do some damage, especially when you've got a lot of tide.
All right, Bob. On a personal note, this guy's got high-speed internet, guys, so I am just in heaven right now. He's letting me use it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. A great lesson on just how bad it is through here. So, Carl, it's not only which way the wind is blowing, but which way it is blowing with respect to the tide. Interesting stuff. And again, guys, the Bay of Fundy. From down here where we are, our tidal ranges are about 20 feet. But when you go up into that northeastern corner where all that water gets jammed, those tidal ranges are up to 50 feet. The highest, by the way, in the world.
Oh, yeah,
Back to you, Carl.
That's just amazing. I've seen video of that, Jim, and it's an incredible thing to see. And here's the latest on our hurricane now coming up and into southwestern Nova Scotia. There's not much to it on the satellite picture. You can see that there's been a fair amount of cloud off to the north and west there. That's where the heavy rain has been. As we look at the radar picture, you can see that center of circulation now coming into southwestern Nova Scotia. And right here at Picaro Point, we had a report of 104 mile an hour gusts. That's in kilometers, so 70 miles an hour, or excuse me, 64 miles an hour, and then gusting up to about 45 miles an hour in Liverpool. And there again is all that wet weather that we've been talking about, and that serious flooding ongoing there in Maine. The winds not all that high in Maine, now up to about 19 miles an hour eastward. You could see scattered power outages, but the primary impact here is going to be very heavy rain. Christina?
Well, let's head a little farther south and see some of this wet weather in southern Florida. You've really been getting soaked here around Miami, and it is still coming down. We'll zoom in a little closer, and you can see rain and thunderstorms here. We've already had several inches of rain in some spots here through southern Florida, and it is still coming down, just moving very slowly. So we're in for not only wet weather tonight, but more wet weather in the forecast for tomorrow. Stay tuned. Your local on the 8th is coming up.